Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen video. Yesterday I did a video on the Lamy Dialog CC and I mentioned that I was going to show you how to ink the pen up, how to disassemble it for cleaning, and I was going to do a nib swap. So I've got the pens here. This is the Dialog 3 CC right here, and this is my Lamy Studio Palladium. And this pen has an oblique medium nib on it. There it is. Of course, the Lamy Dialog CC has a medium gold nib on it. So I want to do a swap between these two nibs. But I'm going to show you first how to disassemble the Dialog CC using the tool that Lamy provides. So first off, to take the pen apart, you turn the back of the barrel counterclockwise and remove that, and then you can take the converter out. I've already cleaned this pen out. Both pens are ink free at the moment, and we unscrew the guts of the pen and put the cap aside, and there's our nib unit. Now, in order to clean out the cap, because you get buildup of ink in there over time, you want to be able to flush this with water. So you take the tool that came with the Lamy pen, and it's just a knurled metal tube, and you screw it onto the back of the cap, and then that allows you to open that gate without having the back of the pen or the nib unit inside, so you can see right through there. That allows you to take your bulb syringe and fill it with some water, put that right on the end, and then flush the inside of the pen out. Just like that. Then get yourself a tissue for your issue, and you can blow through there. Just like that. Get some of the excess moisture out, and of course you can also take a Q-tip, cotton swab, and run that along the inside to get any excess moisture out, and if it shows that it's clear of ink, then you're clean. Then you just close that back down again, unscrew the tool, and you can put your pen back together again, just like that. And now we're going to take these two nibs and we're going to replace them or swap them. And there's a really cool technique for removing the nib on a Lamy fountain pen, and involves getting some tape and attaching that tape to the nib. Make sure it's on there good and tight, and we're just going to pull it this way, and off it comes. Just that quick and easy. And if there's still a little bit of ink on the underside of your nib, take a wet cotton swab and you can clean that up. Now let's do the same thing for the CC. Make sure it's on there nice and secure, and then we're just going to pull, and there's my medium nib, and it's fairly clean. And let's look at both of these nibs close up here. There you can see the medium on the left, and that's a Z56, I believe, and the oblique medium on the right, that was in the Studio, and that has the breather hole. So that's a Z50, that's a Z55, I think. I'm not sure. I'll put in the notes here. So we're going to swap these around, and putting them on is even easier than taking them off. So I'm going to put the medium nib that was on the CC on my Studio, and you just line it up with the rails. You can see there's a couple of plastic rails there, and you line that up and make sure it's going on straight, and just give it a push. Make sure it's secure. Give the nib a little bit of a polish with the polishing cloth, and it looks like it belonged on that pen to begin with. Now we're going to put the oblique nib from the Studio on the CC. Again, line it up with the rails. There we go. Now we're lined up, and just give it a push, and it's on. Nice and straight. Give it a polish with my polish cloth, and there we go. Looks like it belonged on that pen. But of course, the Lamy Dialog CC, the OM nib is not an option. So this is now a very unique Dialog CC. So this Z50 style nib design that's on so many of these Lamy pens is very, very clever. The nibs seem to get really good ink flow. The nibs are easily removed. You don't have to worry about breaking your feeds. Those feeds are solid, and getting them on and off is just as simple as that. So now let's see how we fill this pen up. I'm using Pelikan Edelstein Sapphire ink. As I showed in my review, I find that to be a much drier ink, and therefore it makes the Lamy a little less wet than it was when I first inked it up. So we counterclockwise turn, take the back barrel off, unscrew the guts, open our ink bottle, and the key with these pens is there's a little rectangular filler hole right there at the bottom of the feed. That has to be in the ink for it to suck up ink. So we're going to place that in the ink just like that, and we're going to turn our converter. We're going to do it again one more time. You can hear the bubbles coming out of there, and that should be a full fill. Tissue for your nib issue. Nib goes back into the unit, screw it down, thumb tight, and then put the barrel back on. And then extend that nib just like that, and just give it a bit of a turn to tighten that up so that the mechanism works just that easy without unscrewing the pen. And there we go, instant nib swap. Just that quick and easy. Thank you very much for watching, and that's all she wrote.
I made this.